What's up everybody, this is Trinity Gamer 333 here today to bring you the next video in the Xenoverse 3 series videos. And for those of you that don't know, this is a series of videos in which we talk about new ideas and implementations that we as a community, as well as myself, would like to see added into the next installment in the Xenoverse franchise. And these are just different ideas and concepts that we would like to see the developers put into the game, and this is just kind of my own twist on how they could fit in and different stats that could be involved with them. And I like to call this game the Dragon Ball game to end all Dragon Ball games. And today we'll be talking about Part 4, Clothing / Items, Equipment / Weapons, Subpart 4, Weapons. So without further ado, let's begin. So let's look at the weapons overview overall. And weapons can be used in combat with the press of a button and used in place of fists, or can be sheathed and not used at all. They can add a damage boost, however, they're more for cinematic and aesthetic purposes, but they do have a little slight stats boost to different weapons and different special abilities that can add a little bit of a twist in battle. They can a person can hold 1 or 2 weapons at a time, depending on if that certain weapons class allows it. Weapons can be broken over time if used too much. And if they're broken, it'll be an automatic stamina break on your character. So once they are broken as well, they cannot be used the rest of the match. Then you will have to just resort back to using your fist, and you won't get that stats boost that if you had it out or if you had it already with you. Stamina will slowly be drained while using weapons, and if using more than one weapon, stamina will be drained twice as fast, and some super and ultimate attacks will become unusable. But like I said, you could switch in and out of using the weapon with a press of a button, and so you can be able to use certain super and ultimate attacks, and you wouldn't just be limited that whole match because you had your weapon out. There's different types, and these different types have different special abilities as well to each weapon. So first, let's have a weapon subtypes overview. There's fists, swords, gauntlets, hammers, staff / pole, and energy blades, and a key barrier. So let's start with the fists. This is just a normal fighting usage weapon. You use nothing but your fists, no positive negative inflictions occur, just the normal standard for fighting, and you have access to all super and ultimate attacks. Now swords, and swords can have these have a 5% chance to make an opponent bleed out or lose 10% health over a period of time. So you can equip 2 swords to increase attack damage output and speed, but drains stamina and severely limits super and ultimate attack usage. Then there's different types, like I talked about. The regular, which is sort of like the Future Trunks sword from the Android Saga. Demonic, which is like the Bora sword. The long sword, sort of like the Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Super, and the katana. And these can have different special abilities as well with them, and can be sort of like if you had the demonic sword, maybe it'll add like a demonic flame burst to the opponent, which increases the chance of a bleed out by from 5% to 10% or something like that. Now let's talk about gauntlets. So gauntlets add a 5% damage boost to normal strike and key blast attacks, and from basic attacks to super and ultimate attacks. So these are very powerful. However, they do have negative implications. So first, they drain stamina faster than other weapons, and when using super or ultimate attacks with the gauntlets, it takes an extra key bar to use due to the damage output difference. Then you cannot remove the gauntlets, but they can break during a fight, and it will go until the stamina is broken for all basic attacks. So basically it'll drain your stamina constantly, like when you're doing your basic attacks and everything, and it'll go until it's broken, and then you have to wait until your stamina gets all the way back up to start fighting again, essentially. So it is a negative implication, and it also, you can't sheath them as well, so you can't remove them. So if you choose to use gauntlets, it's kind of there's a lot more negative side effects, but maybe to increase that, they could add make it a 15% damage boost or something along those lines. Types of gauntlets include energy gauntlets, which help with super and ultimate key based attacks, power absorbing gauntlets, which is sort of like the Android 19 to 20, where they could absorb ki. Maybe these gauntlets could absorb ki from your opponent as well, especially if you, let's say you did a throw or a grab attack. When you do the grab attack, it takes 1 bar of ki from your opponent and gives it to you, something like that. And then strength gauntlets, which increase damage boost to basic normal attacks even more, and strike supers. And then defensive gauntlets, so maybe when you are blocking, your opponent actually will lose 1 bar of stamina every time he punches you while you're blocking. Now let's talk about hammers. Hammers add a 5% damage boost to heavy strikes and 5% chance to stamina break an opponent when hit with a heavy strike. They drain stamina at the same speed as swords, but you can hold 2 hammers and increase the heavy strike damage by 10% and 10% chance to stamina break an opponent. However, it drains 1 stamina bar per swing if you're holding 2 hammers. So if you have 10 bars of stamina, it's only going to take 10 swings until your stamina is completely drained. Then there's also the different types, which is maces and hammers, and I haven't really thought of an ability for the difference between those. A lot of these are just for aesthetic purposes as well, not necessarily for the actual stats boost itself. Now we have the staff/pole, and you can add a 5% longer melee strike range and a 5% damage boost to basic melee attacks. Drains stamina at the same rate as swords and hammers. A lot more easily broken, however, than other weapons. And the different types include the power pole, which is like Goku's power pole from the series. Healing staff, which you can actually use to increase your healing ability, so especially like Namekian Elder, the Namekian Elder class can use this to increase their healing abilities to help help themselves or help other teammates in battle. Then Ki Energy Staff, which will help with your Ki, super, and ultimate attacks as well. So let's move on. So now we have the Energy Blades, and these are a lot more unique, and I really like the idea of these. So adds a 10% damage boost to all strike supers involved in using the weapons, and also adds a 5% damage boost to basic melee attacks and strike supers not involved using the weapons. It drains stamina and ki at the same time, and energy blades cannot be broken. However, they can be brought back out once ki and stamina are brought back up enough. So if you have 1 bar of ki and it drains, then your energy weapon goes away. You can't bring it back out until you have 1 bar of ki again. But you can charge all the way up and have your energy weapon out even longer as well. And the different types include swords, such as Goku Black's sword that you see here in the picture. Hand blades, which is like Salza from Cooler's Revenge, or Zamasu's handblade energy weapon. Then the hammer, some kind of hammer energy weapon, and then the scythe that Goku Black uses in the Future Trunks arc as well would be a good kind of a good energy weapon to use as well. So let's move on. Now let's talk about the Ki barrier. Now this is a defensive purpose weapon usage slot, and I think this would be kind of cool to add in, just to add defensive structure to the game. And it gives protection against any poison or stat lowering attacks, and gives a 5% defense increase against every kind of attack, including supers and ultimates and basic melee attacks. It takes up it does take up both weapon slots, so you can't use any other weapons with it. It drains ki but not stamina. So instead of your stamina constantly draining, it'll just be your ki, and once your ki runs out, then the barrier goes away until you get your ki back up. And it cannot be used with other weapons. And this is the same barrier that Gohan and Goku used against the Trio de Dangers in the Tournament of Power, and it adds that white glow around the body kind of to just give the protection kind of view overall. So I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, go ahead and subscribe to me at TrinityGamer333 and leave a like and a comment. And next time we'll be talking about Part 5, Super and Ultimate Attacks, Sub Part 1, the overview. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good day.